You know that feeling where your mind is always somewhere else, planning tomorrow, replaying a conversation from yesterday, or scrolling while the moment right in front of you quietly slips away. And maybe you've tried to slow down before, but it felt like one more thing to add to your to-do list. What I want to share with you today is a simple, gentle way to feel more present in your daily life, not by forcing yourself to meditate for an hour, but by making one small shift in how you notice your day as it unfolds. This matters because most of us are living in a constant state of autopilot, and that disconnect from the present moment is exactly what leaves us feeling tired, rushed, and disconnected from the people and experiences that actually matter. When you start practicing this regularly, you may begin to notice that ordinary moments like washing dishes, waiting in line, or having a quiet cup of tea start to feel fuller, calmer, and somehow more meaningful. And here's the thing, most of us get wrong. Being present isn't about emptying your mind or never being distracted. It's about training yourself to notice when you've drifted and gently coming back without judgment. In this video, I'll walk you through this one shift step by step, with practical exercises you can weave into your existing routine so it never feels like another chore. So let's begin by looking at the first, most overlooked doorway into the present moment, and it's probably closer than you think. When we talk about feeling more present in daily life, it can sound like some kind of spiritual or complicated concept. But really, being present just means paying full attention to what is happening right now without your mind wandering off. It is the simple act of noticing the feeling of your feet on the ground or the sound of your own breathing. For example, when you are washing your hands, being present means feeling the warm water on your skin rather than planning your next meeting. A common misunderstanding is that presence requires total silence or a meditation cushion, but it actually works anywhere. The relief here is that presence is already available to you, no matter where you are or what you are doing. The simple takeaway is that presence is less about doing something special and more about tuning into what is already there. Now, let's look at why this state of mind matters so much for your everyday well-being. Being more present matters because it directly affects how you experience your own life from moment to moment. When you are present, you are actually living your life instead of just rushing through it on autopilot. This simple shift can lower your stress levels because your mind is not constantly worrying about the future or replaying the past. Think about a time you fully enjoyed a conversation with a friend because you are not checking your phone or thinking about work. The realistic truth is that most of us spend huge chunks of our day mentally absent, which drains our energy and joy. The benefit is that presence gives you back those small moments, like the warmth of sunlight or the taste of your morning tea that you might otherwise miss. Your takeaway here is that presence is not about adding another task to your to-do list. It is a way of being that makes everything else feel lighter. So what happens when presence is missing from your life, and how does that feel day to day? When presence is missing, life often feels like you are running on a treadmill that never stops. You might finish a meal and realize you barely tasted a single bite, or arrive at a destination with no memory of the drive. Your mind spends most of its time either regretting something that already happened or worrying about something that has not happened yet. For instance, you could be sitting with your family, but your thoughts are still tangled up in an email from earlier in the day. The pitfall here is that this constant mental absence makes time feel like it is slipping away faster than it actually is. The insight is that when you are not present, you are essentially missing your own life, which can lead to feeling disconnected and unsatisfied. The simple truth is that the problem is not a lack of time, but a lack of attention to the time you have. Once you recognize this pattern, the next question is what habits and beliefs are actually keeping you stuck in that state. If something in this video stood out to you, I'd love to hear about it. Take a second to leave a comment sharing what small step you want to try today. Maybe it's taking one deep breath before starting a task, or simply noticing the light in your room. Your thoughts might help someone else who is watching and looking for ideas. While you're at it, hitting the like button helps more people find this content. And if you haven't yet, subscribing means you will not miss future videos like this one. The more we share and reflect together, the more grounded our practice becomes. Thank you for being part of this conversation. There are certain everyday habits that quietly steal your ability to stay present without you even noticing. The biggest one is multitasking, because your brain is never fully focused on any single thing it is doing. Another common blocker is constantly reaching for your phone during any moment of stillness, like waiting in line or sitting on the couch. You might also have the habit of mentally rehearsing conversations or planning your entire evening while you are still doing something else. The realistic truth is that these habits feel productive, but they actually scatter your attention and keep you feeling overwhelmed. The benefit of recognizing these blockers is that you can start seeing them for what they are, distractions that pull you away from the present moment. Your takeaway is that you do not have to quit all these habits at once. Just start noticing when they show up. Now let's talk about the one mindset shift that can help you break free from these patterns. The first mindset shift is to stop treating presence as something you have to earn or achieve through effort. Many of us believe that being present only counts if we are doing it perfectly, like during a long meditation session. In reality, presence is your natural state underneath all the mental noise, and it is more about letting go than forcing yourself to focus. So instead of trying to control your mind with brute force, try giving yourself permission to simply notice what is here right now. The pitfall is thinking that if your mind wanders, you have failed, which only creates more frustration and judgment. The insight here is that every time you notice your mind has wandered, you have just become present again, and that is the whole practice. Your simple takeaway is to shift from trying to be present to allowing presence to happen naturally, without criticism. With that mindset in place, let me show you the first practical step you can take to start feeling more present today. The first practical step is to create a single anchor for your attention that you can return to throughout your day. This anchor could be something as simple as your breath, the feeling of your feet on the floor, or even the sensation of holding a doorknob. Whenever you remember, just take one slow breath and fully notice that one sensation without trying to change anything. For example, before you start typing an email or open a new app, pause for just 3 seconds and feel your hands resting on the keyboard. The realistic part is that you will forget to do this many times, and that is completely okay. Remembering is what matters. The relief here is that this step does not require extra time. It only asks for a brief moment of attention inserted into your existing routine. Your takeaway is to pick one small action you already do every day, like turning a handle or sitting down, and use it as a reminder to pause. Once you have this anchor in place, you are ready to build on it, and that is exactly what we will explore together in the next part of this video. So what does being more present actually look like when you're just going about your day? It's not about walking around with a blank stare or forcing yourself to meditate every hour. In real life, it looks like noticing the warmth of your coffee cup without rushing to check your phone. It means pausing for a second before you walk through a doorway to feel where your feet are. Real presence often looks boring from the outside because nothing dramatic is happening. But on the inside, there is a subtle shift from reacting to simply being aware of what is here right now. The goal is not perfection, it is just catching yourself more often when you drift away. Let's move into a simple practice that can make this feel much less like a chore. One of the easiest ways to practice presence is to pick one ordinary activity and do it with full attention each day. This matters because it trains your brain to focus on the current moment without adding extra tasks to your to-do list. For example, you can choose brushing your teeth or washing your hands as your anchor activity. When you do that activity, just feel the sensations of the water or the bristles instead of planning your day. The realistic truth is that your mind will wander, and that is fine every single time. The benefit here is that you are building a small habit of returning your attention without judgment. Just 1 minute of this each day can slowly rewire how you move through bigger moments. But before you try this, there is a common mistake that can trip you up, so let's address that next. If you're looking for more gentle guidance like this, you might want to check out www.happylifetribe.com. It's a space built around practical ideas and calm encouragement for everyday life. Whether you need a reminder to slow down or a simple tip to reset your focus, you'll find it there. The site offers articles and resources designed to support a calmer, more intentional lifestyle. Everything is written in the same warm, down-to-earth tone you've heard here today. Think of it as a quiet corner to come back to whenever life feels too busy. You can explore it at your own pace with no pressure to do anything, just a supportive space to help you keep building what matters. A big mistake people make is trying to be present all the time, which quickly becomes exhausting. This is important because it turns presence into another impossible standard instead of a gentle skill. When you demand constant awareness, you get frustrated and end up feeling less connected than before. A better approach is to aim for small islands of presence scattered throughout your day. The realistic truth is that no one is fully present for 8 hours straight, and that is completely normal for a human brain. The relief here is that you can stop trying to be perfect and just practice being present for a few seconds here and there. So let go of the all-or-nothing mindset and remember that a little presence goes a long way. This understanding makes the whole process feel much more realistic instead of overwhelming. To make this feel realistic, start by lowering the bar to the floor and simply acknowledging one thing in your environment. This works because it removes the pressure to perform a complex routine you will eventually abandon. You can just look at a tree outside your window and notice its color without analyzing it further. Another way is to feel the ground beneath your feet as you stand in line at the grocery store. The realistic truth is that these tiny moments add up over weeks in ways you cannot feel right away. The benefit is that you stop chasing a big transformation and start trusting small, consistent efforts instead. Your only job right now is to be present for about 5 seconds more than you were yesterday. Once you feel that shift, you will start noticing emotional and mental changes that make this effort worthwhile. As you get better at being present, you will notice that your mind feels quieter and less cluttered over time. This happens because you are no longer feeding the constant loop of worry about the past or future. Simple tasks like folding laundry or driving to work become less draining and more peaceful. You might also find that you react more slowly when something frustrating happens. The realistic truth is that you will still feel angry or upset, but you will not stay stuck there as long. The mental relief comes from knowing you have a small pause button inside you that you can press at any moment. Your relationships often improve too because you actually hear what people are saying to you. But staying consistent through busy periods is the real challenge, so let's talk about how to keep that momentum. When life gets hectic, the first thing that usually drops is your presence practice, but it does not have to be that way. The key is to attach your presence reminders to things you already do every single day. For instance, every time you unlock your phone, take one conscious breath before opening any app. You can also use red lights while driving as a built-in signal to notice your posture and breathing. The realistic truth is that you will miss days, and that is normal, so just restart the next moment without guilt. The benefit of these tiny anchors is that they keep presence woven into your routine even when you feel overwhelmed, so trust that a 3-second pause during a busy day still counts as meaningful practice. Let's take everything we have covered so far and see how it all fits together in the final part of this video. Over time, this practice of being present starts to reshape your daily life in quiet but meaningful ways. You might notice that you react less quickly to small frustrations because you catch yourself before the spiral begins. Simple moments like waiting in line or walking to your car start to feel less like wasted time and more like small pockets of calm. Your mind still wanders, but you develop a gentle habit of bringing it back without judging yourself for drifting. The change isn't dramatic, and that's exactly why it lasts, because it builds slowly into your natural rhythm. You begin to trust that you don't need to be constantly busy or distracted to feel okay. This steady shift makes your days feel fuller, even when nothing particularly exciting happens. And as this settles in, you'll also start to notice the moments when you slip back into old habits. One of the best parts of this journey is knowing you're not walking it alone. When you subscribe to Happy Life Tribe, you join a community of people who are also learning to live with more presence and ease. We share what works, what's hard, and what helps us keep going. It's a space where small wins are celebrated and no one expects you to have it all figured out. If that sounds like the kind of support you'd value, consider subscribing or visiting www.happylifetribe.com. There, you can connect with others who are trying to live with more peace and intention. Together, we can remind each other to breathe, pause, and return to what matters. I'd be honored to have you with us. Even after weeks or months of practice, there will still be days when presence feels impossible. You might wake up already stressed, or find yourself scrolling through your phone before you even realize what you're doing. This isn't a sign that you've failed, it's just part of being human in a fast-paced world. The challenge is that your brain has years of training in distraction, so it will naturally fall back into those patterns. You might feel frustrated or discouraged when you notice yourself slipping, and that's completely normal. The key is to remember that one distracted day doesn't erase the progress you've already made. These setbacks are actually valuable because they show you exactly where your old habits still have a grip. And when you recognize that grip, you already have the tools to gently loosen it. When you notice you've slipped back into autopilot, the first step is simply to pause without adding shame to the moment. Take one slow breath and acknowledge that you drifted, just like you would if a friend told you they were struggling. Then, gently bring your attention back to whatever is right in front of you, your breath, your hands, or the sound around you. You don't need to force yourself to feel present, just let yourself arrive back in the moment naturally. It helps to remember that recovery isn't about perfection, it's about returning as many times as you need to. Each time you come back, you're actually strengthening the same mental muscle you've been building all along. This makes the next slip less jarring and the return a little bit easier. Over time, you'll find that these recoveries become quicker and less emotional, which is a sign of real growth. This practice of being present helps anyone who feels like their mind is constantly racing or pulled in too many directions. It's especially useful for people who struggle with anxiety because presence cuts through the spiral of future worries. It also helps those who feel disconnected from their own lives, like they're just going through the motions each day. Parents, caregivers, and people in high-stress jobs often find relief here because they rarely get a moment to themselves. Even if you don't identify with any of those groups, you can still benefit from a calmer, more grounded way of living. The truth is that almost everyone in modern life deals with some level of mental clutter and distraction. This topic helps most because it doesn't require any special skills, just a willingness to slow down and notice. And that willingness is something anyone can access, starting right now. If you want to start feeling more present today, you only need to do one small thing. Choose one routine activity you already do every day, like brushing your teeth or walking through a doorway. For that one activity, commit to paying full attention to the physical sensations, the feel of the brush, the sound of your footsteps. Don't try to clear your mind, just let your attention rest on what your senses are telling you. If your mind wanders, that's fine. Just guide it back to the activity without any frustration. Do this for just that one moment each day for the next week, and notice how it starts to feel more natural. You don't need to change your whole schedule or add anything complicated to your routine. This single practice is enough to open the door to a more present way of living. This change is worth practicing because it brings you back to the only moment you ever really have, which is right now. You don't have to wait for a vacation or a quiet season of life to feel grounded and calm. Presence is available to you in the middle of a busy day, in a conversation, or even in a moment of silence. The more you practice, the more you realize that peace isn't something you have to chase, it's something you can access anytime. There will always be distractions and stress, but you now have a simple way to return to yourself. You don't need to be perfect at this, you just need to keep showing up, one small moment at a time. The life you're living right now is worth being fully awake for, even in its ordinary, unpolished moments. So take a slow breath, feel your feet on the ground, and trust that this is enough. As we bring this video to a close, I hope you feel a little more ready to practice being present today. The small step of pausing and noticing where you are can make a real difference over time. You don't need to be perfect at it, just willing to try it gently. If this kind of practical guidance supports you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Happy Life Tribe. For more encouragement and calm living inspiration, you can always visit www.happylifetribe.com. There you'll find a community full of practical ideas, support, and mindful lifestyle guidance. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take a gentle breath and carry that sense of presence with you into the rest of your day.